Yo, what up, YouTube? Been a minute since I post. Really don't post anymore, man. Uh, Not because of so-called targeting. Like I said, I told you guys before my targeting would change, and it has. I told you how pretty much I got there was through prayer, spiritually. I had to pray all the time, okay? So, for a lot of you guys getting into this thing with government and things like that, you're missing the hitch, man. All right. And I spoke to y'all until I was like blue in the face about it being spiritual. I dealt with the onslaught of videos of hate and what have you when I was outlining, what I believe this to be. It's not much left I have to say any more than people would hear. I listen to targets and they say the same things. They haven't grown from where they started. Me, I was at ground zero. I was the first target to speak videos and show my face. If you found this video, you're very blessed. I can tell you this. My shadow ban is way more extreme than anybody else I've came across. You absolutely can't find my content. Which leads me to say with Chief Handler, who runs away from me every time I come across him, because I know who he is. I understand the artificial intelligence. When you look around you, you guys, these people damn near act like robots. Some of them, they meet in places without anybody having even any pre-mentioned plans of like, we're going to meet here at this time. And when they meet together, they talk business. So not only do they instinctually know the place and time and where to meet, they do it for a reason. All right. See, that something was in that thing. All right. The techno juice. Or, there's something else very distinct also going on with society. People are homogenized. I don't know if you ever seen that movie called Annihilation. And I can't explain it. It's just something you have to watch. And the Bible speaks of peculiar people. How are you peculiar? And the rest of the world sees things differently. You don't have to say a word and they know who you are and that you're different. They have an issue with you already, a lot of them. All right, those are usually gatekeepers, but the other people are just people and they say things to you and they don't understand what they're saying. And I still watch targets videotape other people. There's a guy named Oshu, man. He started out one way, now he's videotaping his neighbors all day long. You have become a perp. Congratulations. It's disappointing for those who do not connect to the spiritual portion of this solely. Be prepared to change with the 2D people that I see. People who are really in the soup category know that when you walk into an environment, you could look at you could see someone out of your peripheral vision and damn near break down what they had for lunch yesterday. Okay? The C is the people and they're becoming homogenized. And it is like the Matrix. Exactly. But reality is in layers. So we live in 3D and this technology is in a super layer. Before it happened, they activated CERN in around 2010 first. But lately, I've started to notice people change. They're of the same type of mind. They say things that make no sense, and it makes sense to them. Okay? A lot of you guys are worried about dragons. Dragons are under the same predicament too if they're here on Earth. If they interact with Earth or anything like that, they're under the same predicament. There's nowhere in the Bible that says that God says he has any issues with serpents. It says the serpent seed. And immediately, the first example we're given of a serpent seed is Cain, who slayed his brother and had no idea. You know what I'm saying? It was a big deal. He was devoid of conscience. He was base. He was as a beast. So when you think of a spiritual matrix and the physical matrix that sits on top, the artifacts of your mind, all right, the base properties of your mind, that is a program. Animals, you could say, operate on that program. When they get hungry, they know they need to kill something in order to eat or find something to go and eat. These are your base instinctual properties. It is a program. You don't have to learn anything to know them. This is what we are talking about when it comes to the beast, not an actual creature. And you will find that the point of man falling was the fact that man fell into becoming a type of beast. So all those who rely on their base instinct motives appear as androids. They're operating off of this system. All right? They're not going to get along with you. You're going to see things differently. Your way is going to be different. You're going to think different. All right? It's a spiritual machination. It's beyond the government. Let me ask you something. When you pass a police station, how many cop cars do you see? But on the streets, you see SUVs. You don't see the cop cars. When's the last time you seen a cop car and not a cop SUV? But you see cop cars at the station, right? And how many cop cars are there? And how many cop cars do you see on the street? How many police vehicles, whether they be SUV or what otherwise, if there was that many that was going out to police the streets, how come you don't see that many? But then at time and places, they're just there, aren't they? When do you see the FBI? When's the last time you seen an FBI vehicle not on TV? I can tell you I've never seen one. Who are these guys in suits that go around and investigate things? How often do you see them in your entire life? Only in the movies, right? Now, on cop shows, they always have somebody from an external department, all right, talking about internal affairs or whatever. When have you seen this? When have you seen or heard about internal affairs coming in to do some type of responsible police check? How often do you hear airplanes anymore in comparison to your childhood? We are a world that's caught in suspension between what it was and what it will be. We don't know what happened with CERN. This could be an aberration of the world that used to be and the world that's to come. And therefore, all this chaos, order is being aimed to be brought out of it to create some type of implementation or infrastructure. Those who are truly awake do not operate in any of the base properties primarily, so we don't get along with the rest of society, and the rest of society seems like they're on autopilot. It's not that you are targeted in particular, that anybody is looking for you. It's that you don't fit within the motherboard. Mother goddess. You don't fit within the motherboard. You have a covering from Christ. Rainbow encrypted. This motherboard notices that an element is missing. And that's why people act strangely around you. Seems like chaos just is around you or seems to find you, but not in other places. That's because everything works cohesively, except you're the missing piece. Right? Therefore, it's like you are a cell in a body that's fighting off a sickness. This is the truth of your targeting. It's not that you're targeting, it's that you don't fit in. You don't fit in where you used to fit in. Somebody came by, like in the Matrix, and unplugged you from the Matrix. And now the Matrix that you once were a part of is out against you. Now you have the John Wick attribute. This is what it is. The things you recognize people would never think of in a million years. So when you say things, people are afraid of you. Most people, even Christians, are plugged into it. The people who are woke are plugged into it, because even the dynamic of being woke happens within reacting or noticing something within the motherboard system. But we look at different things. We look at things that can't be seen, and then we try to describe what we see. To the world, this would appear as schizophrenic, except they can't disprove what you're saying. But with you guys talking about somebody wearing a particular shirt and posting that up on the World Wide Web, people don't know what you're talking about. You have to come correct. When you come online, you're not describing this phenomenon to me. I understand what you're talking about. But you're not speaking to me one-on-one. You're speaking to the World Wide Web. Therefore, you have to address it in a framework of communication that a layman can understand, like someone who does understand particularly. That could be used as evidence against you, in which you would sound crazy. So you need to rectify and notice that you're always talking about spiritual things if you're going to talk about targeting, or you're setting yourself up for problems. All right, that's all I'm going to put here for now. All right, people seem like robots. They have the same type of mind, right? You can see them from a mile off, right? It's the system that you're not a part of. People who got that thing, now they're part of the system. All right. So that's all I'm going to say to y'all, man. Peace and blessings be with y'all. Click the like if you feel inclined to. I'm out.